Hey, bros, welcome to Just Us Bros podcast. And as always, it's Hokey Joker.
Green Lantern.
And I know we're big DC fans out here. And, all the comic books we've read over the last however many years, is there a certain storyline that you guys want to see adapted in any animated or hopefully live action? Is there any sort of stories? And we can go through the characters if you want. Um, Go ahead and give me a storyline, give me a character. What movie do you want to see?
Well, first off, I want to just say that I think this is the first time that we've all been in the same room together on a podcast, which is
The first.
the first, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different than our
Ongoing.
ongoing adventures.
Yeah.
Sitting down, not sweating our little bros off.
But it's good to all be together in one room.
Yes, enjoying a nice, cool, air-conditioned room full of rocks. These kind of rocks.
Rocks.
I mean, I think Green Lantern would prefer the other sort of rock.
I do like my stones.
Are you talking about Green Lantern or are you talking about Dwayne Johnson?
Lane Johnson.
Anywho,
So any of all the comic book stories we've read over the last however many years, even going back to the 80s, is there a certain character story arc that you guys want to see adapted to either animated, live action TV, or maybe even movie? Like, any stories that's popping up for you for the character? Or we can go by character if that's easier for you guys.
For me, I got to see my boy Green Lantern done right. I know they're supposedly developing an HBO Max story that's like a buddy cop with Guy Gardner, John Stewart, and maybe some other side characters, or maybe each episode. I've heard Alan Scott's going to be it. Like each episode might focus on a different character, maybe. Which looking forward to that. But I'd love to see a Sinestro Corps more done. Huge fan of Jeff Johns and his run on Green Lantern. So I'd love to see a Sinestro Corps war done. I'd love to see a Blackest Night. Both of those probably would be best as a DC animated movie, but I'd love to see that part of James Gunn's connected universe where it might be animated, but it's part of the actual connected universe. Get Mark Strong back as Sinestro. He looked great as that. I know he's playing Dr. Sivana in Shazam, but
Who knows how long if that's still around?
yeah, exactly. So get him if it's an animated movie, at least the voice Sinestro. But yeah, those would be my two big ones.
yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. I definitely would like to see, first off, I definitely would like to see Blackest Night done. And seeing that in the DC animated universe, that would be great. Because the DC animated universe right now they're holding strong. They're doing their job right. But I don't know. I actually haven't seen much of the recent stuff. But anywho, yeah, I agree with GL. The Blackest Night story would be great to actually see come to life from a comic book. But for me, instead of a comic book story, I guess for Batman, I would love to see uh, an Arkhamverse, like the games that came out, like an Arkhamverse storyline, like actually completely done. I know that the DC animated universe did an assault, excuse me, an assault on Arkham story, but I'd like to see the entire thing, the origins, the asylum, the city, and then Arkham Knight. I really feel like I would love that. It could almost be a movie trilogy, but I think to really deep dive into those stories, it would have to be maybe a Max series. What happened to my thing, Jake? Battery's about to die.
Oh shit!
All right. Okay, back after a little technical difficulty, and Batcher was talking about having like an Arkham series trilogy, maybe a quadrilogy if you throw in Arkham Origins.
So do you have in your mind like? Obviously, you'd have Batman, you'd have Joker, you'd have Harley Quinn, you'd have
Mr. Freeze, Clayface.
the whole Rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Would you want to see well-established actors play these characters? Would you want to see newbies? And do you have anybody in mind for any particular role?
That is a good question because the fandom right now, regardless of known actor or unknown actor, they're kind of a little bit like, and you know what I would like? It would probably be better is have the series come out and don't reveal anything to like the first piece of hero. Don't even say who the cast you're putting, but take it for what it is. Like if Edmund comes out, Oh yeah.
Kamikaze.
By the way, you just put out an album. Nobody had time to review any track list, dissect it, who's on it, whatever. Just boom, HBO Max. Coming 1 month. And then just another one time, boom.
Coming for you.
I think I would go a little bit more grandiose than what that is. I would. Yes, that is an extra.
I thought it was a bird.
Grandiose. It describes larger. But I would love to see, and this the only way it'd be achievable is an animated movie, and that would be Dark Knight's Metal. I mean, there's so, but that would take like a lot of efforts of like every Superman like actor, like or you have Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Cyborg, Batman, and then you got pretty much the duplicates playing the evil versions of Batman. That's a lot of actors, and like that's a lot to bring on a star-studded cast. So I feel like doing it animated would be better. I think the soundtrack could be great with dark, heavy metal music. And if it is such a big storyline, you could pull the Batman Returns Part One and Two, how Part One came out, and then Part Two came out, and do it that way a year apart. I think that would be one that I would want to see in any sort of form.
I'd like to see that. Again, I'd love to see it live action. I don't know if they could pull it off live action.
Because like they had the individual one shots on how the Dark Knights got their power. So I mean, trying to snippet that into 30 seconds or even just an offhanded line, I don't think would do it justice.
So they could do it like so do, and it doesn't have to be one movie. It could be like some of the newer animated movies that's come out in DC Universe where it's like a part one and a part two.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see the Dark Knight's metal go into the death metal, which was that on steroids, and then you had the Joker that was or the Batman who laughs, but he turned into
The Darkest Night.
the Darkest Night. Like that would be badass to see.
Yeah, and then you had the King Robins.
The King Robins.
Yeah. I mean, even if like they put it on HBO Max and had like the little snippets, like the 6 minutes of like, hey, here's the background for the Batman who laughs, the drowned, the merciless. Because
I think it would work. I think it would work as like each one of those gets their own separate story so that you can watch it. Maybe leading up to
like Amazon's,
like you have HBO Max like intricate cuts like storylines for each side story, and then the movie.
right.
So we wouldn't have to waste time in the movie to.
So you know about each character.
just like how on Amazon Prime, for the boys, there was that whole second series of Diabolical.
Yeah.
Each one was 15 minutes long, 12 episodes. I watched that in a night. You could easily do that with the Dark Knights. Granted, the new characters in Death Metal, it's like, okay, Dark Side Batman. You don't really like. They don't even go into a backstory for him.
Batrocidus.
Or yeah, Batrocis or the Bat Tyrannosaurus Rex or Bat Adam or Bat Deathstroke, which would still be cool.
Yeah.
But that would be like my story arc I'd like to see, because that was like the last real good one I read.
That was good. I haven't kept up in the past year. I've been getting the comics, haven't had a chance to dive in. They kind of reinvented the universe again, but I'd love to see that.
I mean, the only thing that stands out to me is just Metallica's All Nightmare Long. Like when the Dark Knights are taking on the Justice League, like cutting in between, like seeing them, like, I mean, come on, All Nightmare Long.
Well, and the comics actually came out corresponding. There was a soundtrack with those. You
Yeah,
had, like
soundtrack's already made for 'em.
Yeah, you had like I don't know why that cut off. But you had like Chino Marino, Deftones, and shit, I can't remember, but it actually had a soundtrack to it.